Hello and welcome to part 20 of this tutorial on how to create a full-stack website using MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. In this part, we'll create the navigation, so let's get started. I'll add in the loader component where we were displaying ... loading before. Don't forget to import it. Now in the components folder, create a backdrop folder, create the index and .css files. I'll start with the CSS, add a .backdrop class, give it a width of 100%, height of 100%, a position of fixed, z-index of 100, set left to 0, and top to 0. Then give it an opaque background color, so use RGBA. Pass in 0 for each color, then 0.5 for the opacity. In the index file, create a basic React component and name it backdrop. Import the classes object. Pass in props. Then we'll get rid of the return braces. We'll check the status of props.show. If it's true, return a div with a class name of classes.backdrop. Give it an onClick attribute and set it to props.clicked. If props.show is false, we return null. In the components folder, create a folder named layout. In there, create a navbar folder. Create the index and CSS files. In the index, create a basic React component and name it navbar. Import the classes object. Create some local state with showDrawer and set showDrawer. Then set the default to false. Create a drawer toggle handler arrow function. In the body, call set showDrawer. We'll pass in the opposite of showDrawer. So if it's false, we set it to true. Create a drawer close handler arrow function. Call set showDrawer and set it to false. Switch the return div to a nav element. Give it a class name of classes.nav. Pass in a div with a class name of classes.headerLogo. Under that, add an unordered list with a class name of classes.desktop_container. Then pass in the navigation items component that we'll create next. In the navbar folder, create a navigationitems.js file. Create a basic React component and name it navigation items. Import navlink from React Router DOM. Import the classes object. destructure clicked from props. With the let keyword, create a currently active style variable and set it to an object, where I'll set the background color to F1, 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 and the color to black. I'll use let again to create a nav items variable. Set it to an array of objects, where I'll point to, add a slash, and set name to home. Copy that down, switching the route to /gallery. And the name to gallery. Then do it again for blog and contact. Now change the return div to a fragment, pass in some JSX, and map through the nav items. Create an arrow function with item and IDX as params. Return a list item. Give it a key of IDX. And a class name of classes.regular_nav_li. Then pass in a nav link with a class name of classes.widelink. Set exact to true. Active style to currently active style. Set onClick to clicked. And set to item.to. Then in between the nav link, pass in some JSX containing the item.name. Now back to the navbar index file. Import the navigation items component we just created. Then below the unordered list, add the hamburger menu component that we'll create next. Now in the navbar folder, create a hamburger menu.js file. Create a basic React component and name it hamburger menu. Then import the classes object. The navigation items component. And the backdrop. Pass in props. Change the return div to a fragment. Pass in a div with the class name of classes.hamburger_container. Give it an onClick attribute and set it to props.clicked. Pass in an icon element and give it a class name of FAS FA-bars. Give it some inline style with a color of black and a font size of 1.3 rem. Then under the div, add the backdrop component. Give it a show prop and set it to props.showback. Give it a clicked prop and set it to props.close. Below that, add another div. We'll give it a dynamic class name. So we'll check the status of props.showback. If it's true, we give it a class name of classes.sideDrawer_open. Else, we give it a class name of classes.sideDrawer_close. Then pass in an unordered list with a class name of classes.drawerList_container. pass in the navigation items component. Give it a clicked prop and set it to props.clicked. Now in the navbar index file, give the hamburger menu a show back prop and set it to show drawer. Give it a clicked prop, then set it to the drawer toggle handler. And give it a close prop, then set it to the drawer close handler. Now I'll paste in the CSS, which you can find at the link in the description. And that's it for this part. Thanks for watching.